Right.
Hello,
Welcome.
good evening.
Salty Saturdays. Sorry, we're having a interesting start to the day because an EO match. Anyways, sorry. I'm the operator. And with me today for his casting debut, Wild Rose. How's it going?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on today. Excited for our first guest.
Yeah, I'm like okay. So our first match today. Oh, these are both matches that are actually kind of familiar to you, right? Because you were playing Chewy in Legacy this week against
Tomorrow,
first.
yes.
Yeah, and the second match, Kurt Reynolds, or that's the your team, right?
Skirt,
Who's which
yes.
skirts on your team? Okay.
He is a Justin. 4 out of 5. He is one of the four.
All right. Well, start by previewing the have done pro match. It's a pretty hype match as both players, even though it is that the already I have to check. One of these teams has already won. No, ET Nazoth, which is on the win. You know, they're both undefeated. Great match. Two very good.
Truly. And I believe they were on opposite sides of the bracket. Both of these players were actually at the most recent Masters Tour, Murder at Castle Nathria. And I'm not sure about the Swiss rounds, but at least they never had a chance to face off against each other in the playoffs bracket. So this will also be an exciting match for that reason.
Yeah. So we do have bands already. So lineups here. The band but interesting lineups because we have one player who bought all 40 card decks and another player who brought basically most aggro.
Yeah, it's bands make sense to me so far. Chewy, he has the Ramp Druid and Quest Hunter, so banning the Rogue probably pretty helpful for him there. And Donkey, on the other hand, has Aggro Druid, as you said, instead of the Ramp Druid. We see a lot of a pretty big split in the Druid archetypes these days in every format, and for sure, in order to get the Aggro Druid out, the Mage is a terrible oppressive matchup for that. So sounds good to me.
Yeah, do you think that these lineup
Mm, I would say that a lot of the decks, I mean, in this meta, at least the ones that are playable, sorry to the three classes at the bottom, right? Um, they're all very close in power level generally. Like they'll have some, 70-30 matchups here and there, but everything's really strong. And I would say one deck I'm most worried about, it's always the fourth deck, the Shaman. Ever since the nerf to Snowfall Guardian, which I believe Chewy actually isn't even running anymore. He has cut it from the deck. Shaman has not been in a great spot. In place of the Shaman, he's running much more of a Wildpaw Caverns and, Murloc package with Clownfish, obviously, that kind of tempo package. But I'm not sure if that will be enough.
Yeah, definitely the Shaman is fine on all fronts. F1. What do you think the fourth deck here for Donkey?
Yeah, should be the Warlock, Druid, Rogue, Mage. I don't know the exact numbers, but I bet if you scrub through every lineup, again, in every format, they must have over an 80 or 90% bring rate. The Warlock here, it's an Abyssal Implock, so it's a hybrid of the Implock using Vile Library, as well as Curse cards, the Abyssal Curse cards, with combos like Lady Darkfang, basically to burn your opponent out. And I guess it also has some use in being a little better than a normal Warlock against an Aggro Druid, but Chewy doesn't have that today, so that won't come up.
Yeah, when I kind of more I'm thinking about it, that you have Donkey with some really good matchups overall, but that aggro druid does feel like that might be one of the tougher matchups, just because that is not a deck that can go late, and basically all of Chewy's decks wants to go late, right? So I think Big Spell Mage and Warlock have tempo plays for the mid game, kind of, so to speak, to kind of push those decks over the top. But it'll be interesting to see how or whether this aggro druid cross the line.
Yeah, and looking at Donkey's lists, right? In his Big Spell Mage, he has cards like Spamming Arcanist, the Starfish, which is good in a lot of matchups. And the Abyssal Implock, again, with its Abyssal Wave, 6 mana, deal 4 damage to all minions. I think that Donkey was expecting almost an aggro druid bring from Chewy, but Chewy brought the Ramp Druid, so not necessarily an incorrect choice, but definitely, a little unfortunate that we've got these tech cards that are doing a lot less than they would have been in these matchups.
Right. Well, I've given them the green light, so we'll keep an eye out to see started challenging her. But any thoughts about what you think might come first, perhaps? What you would
Come first. So if I was Donkey, here's the I guess the kicker. I guess the aggro druid from Donkey, Quest Hunter. If it gets exposed to Trap Up, it's pretty difficult. And against the Moist Shaman, I'm not sure how the matchup is exactly with cards like Firemancer Forgel or even the Primordial Wave to devolve Donkey's aggro druid. I would say that Donkey's aggro druid is in the most tough spot on his lineup. As long as if it queues into the Ramp Druid, it has a great time. So what I'm thinking is Chewy will hold off on queuing the Ramp Druid so that he doesn't give the Aggro Druid a free win. And then Donkey will read that and not queue his own Aggro Druid, queuing everything else first.
Yeah, some 9 games here, I guess, right? When you have a situation where you have one deck that like has a best matchup essentially out of the other two, right? And then trying to hunt for that match. I guess you do have to kind of mind game it. I know that sometimes like the advice is just to get the bad, like just keep queuing the bad one, right? So that it doesn't accidentally miss the matchup it wants, right? All right, it does look like we're getting into the game.
All right. Awesome. My spectator menu is loading up as well. All right. Quest Hunter, yes.
Sorry.
No problem. And Donkey brought the Aggro Druid.
All right.
Okay. I had half my predictions correct.
Hoping to sneak a win in, but unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah. So Donkey's got Trog on 1 against a Quest deck. Yep, that's the only thing he keeps. Interestingly, Chewy does not keep Wild Spirits, which is probably the best card in the entire deck. I couldn't quite catch what else he was mulling because there's a little bit of a delay. But it looked to me he also did he mull Explosive Trap in this matchup?
He did, yeah.
It's very interesting because big AoE spell into Aggro Druid. Seems like you'd usually keep it.
Yeah, I think it depends on how aggressive you want to matchup. It does seem overall good, but rather, I mean, greedy, but you rather get it off of Boulder or something lines, and probably exactly for this um, Trog list, gonna have to have a 1 mana to remove a Trog on one. So I think he was probably mulling for that one. Like if he had probably a 1 mana spell to remove, that he might have thought about keeping. But this is just super
Yeah.
awkward, right? Because you just gave him two
This
Trogs. Like he doesn't have a follow up play either on turn.
Yeah, like not mincing any words, this is absolutely horrendous right now for Chewy. No damage spells coming out until turn 3, and even that's a coin piercing shot, which gives Donkey more trogs than it removes, right? Um, yeah, I with Mark of the Wild, the buff spell being in Donkey's deck, I can definitely understand like, okay, we need to be always removing the Trog on one so that we don't get blown out by Mark of the Wild, but hasn't worked out so far for Chewy.
Yeah, this
So,
is rough. I mean, this is one of the things. This is one of the ways that Beastry gets there, right? Is the Trog on one, and you are on you're first to go. Not on the coin.
yeah.
It's gonna be tough to
Yeah.
navigate, mainly also because he just has no. Okay, that's a
Oh,
spell, but it's too late, sort of. One turn too
too
late.
little, too late.
Because yeah, now every
Oh.
time you shoot it, you get another.
Mm-hmm. We're seeing Donkey. He held the aquatic form last turn, so that most likely so they can play it on turn 4 to find, I believe, Pride's Fury, +1/+3 to all minions. And if he plays that, the game's probably over. Uh, I would say probably the best out currently for Chewy would be a top deck of Spring to Trap, his single copy of Spring to Trap, into casting both Ice Trap and Explosive Trap, which would prevent a Pride's Fury and make it very difficult for Donkey to attack. For now, he's going to go for the Arcane Shot, literally just to progress his quest. No change in the power on the board. Little unlucky there, but what can you
Yeah,
do in that situation?
I mean the top deck he's looking for is another 1 mana arcane shot essentially, and then he can use hero power for one of them. Oh no, that doesn't matter. Well, I mean, it does matter because you're down to one Trog instead of two, right? Which gives you a hope of removing that one Trog.
Yeah. Interesting. I guess, not sure if Aquatic Form. I guess he was looking for Herald of Nature because he has a Soda Soil in the hand to activate it this turn. But finds neither Soda Soil or Herald of Nature nor Pride's Fury. So he might have an out here for Chewy. Just kidding. Drew aimed shot.
Yeah, this is now you just make the board big because nothing else doing.
May as well board. Oh!
Oh my god, 4 on 4.
Ooh. I mean, at least there's an Ice Trap up for Chewy, right? The Pride's
Yeah,
Fury, not gonna go off this turn.
but it
This is
makes
the way
sense
to
to rip it
turn.
there. I mean, that makes a lot. Could have tested for it. Okay, yeah. I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
it,
I don't
it,
think it's
it
gonna
just,
matter.
there's zero chance that Donkey can lose that game right there. Welcome to Aggro. I just got the dollar and frame
I know,
card
I'm
back.
getting prax, yo. So funny. All right. Ignore that. We don't play on EU. All right, so good. The class that we weren't sure find a way does so in downright easy fashion.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I would say Chewie played the best deck he could out of the Ramp Druid, Quest Hunter, and the Moist quote unquote Shaman into that Aggro Druid, and it still got through. So what can I say?
Yeah, I
So
mean,
Dunk.
this is kind of the meta right now, though, doesn't it? I don't know. It feels like that to me, where it's like one card, one draw makes all the difference. This is not usually the one we think of, right? We're thinking of Daenerys or Guff or whatever, right? But Trogon won on when going first, right? Wrong in this. Prido
Yeah.
said in chat actually that Donkey beat Chewie in round 7 of MT5.
Oh,
Average.
is MT5 equivalent to Castle Nathria? Yes, it is. I see. Okay, so they did meet in the Swiss round.
Got a rematch.
Mm-hmm. Let's see which one will come out on top this time around. Players are still selecting decks. Donkey still needs to get his big smell mage and the implock through.
All right, I'm going to add a person
Ooh.
to Geranium Battle is actually helpful. Geranium, you here?
Heck yeah.
All right. Thank God. For people to pass so that I don't have to multitask this entire time.
Yeah, I know you don't like
I
multitasking, so I was
promise
like,
you, it's
oh,
hard on my
I'm available.
brain.
Let's go.
But we're
This is
wait, we're in game 2, match 2.
Oh,
Donkey just took the first one. Hug on 1 and shoot done by turn 4.
yep. Game 2, Chewie's running it back with the Quest Center. Donkey's got his implock out this time. It's an interesting mulligan because Chewie has a single copy of Urchin Spines in this deck, which is maybe really good against an early Vile library. But he mulls it. Because it's not as useful when you want to play Wound Prey on turn 2, potentially, and you don't have a guaranteed spell to combo the Urchin Spines with. But we also see Donkey with the Vile library in hand, still considering whether or not to keep the rest of his hand. There we go. Okay.
Are you
So,
able to
oh,
spectate the match?
I'm getting in now.
Okay, just
awesome. Donkey has a choice between Flame Imp on 1 or Wicked Shipment on 1. I'd imagine it'll be the Flame Imp coming down because Wicked Shipment has better synergy with the Vile library later. All right. One drop at 1. Let's go.
you. Quest Hunter draw looks pretty bad though. I won't lie.
Mm-hmm. I will say though, if the order of secrets is optimal here, we can get Explosive Trap first and then Freezing Trap second, right?
Right.
So Explosive Trap will kill the small minions. Freezing Trap will send the Vile library buffed minion back into the game.
Yeah, that's a good call. Make the most out of what you have, right?
Exactly. So you have a choice between dropping the Vile library to bank the mana or going for a tempo play, playing two 1-drops on turn 2. I think it's going to be the 1-drops here. Just more tempo, more damage. Very difficult to deal with right now. Okay, that's a 4-3 and 2-2-1s on turn 2.
He's gonna one large minion.
Yep.
Oh no.
This is really unfortunate for Chewie though. He plays Explosive Trap first, which is correct, but the presence of the 3 health minion means that these freezing traps are not as useful as they would have been. Donkey still has 2 larger minions that cannot be dealt with. Unless, of course, he top decks Quick Shot. exactly the 3 damage he needs. I don't see anything outside of a full clear here with Quick Shot and Wind Spray.
Yeah, that does look really good.
Yeah, almost immediately actually. Tide seemed to have turned
And then
because
point out if you want.
yeah. When Sequoia with Quick Shot and Wound Spray here, Tree will have a 1/1 left on the board. And the Syracuse Cultist will come down, most likely, outside of some random top deck. After that, he has one more Power Spike with the Fiendish Circle, plus the Vile Library again. But other than that, Donkey doesn't have too much gas left. And with the Barracuda Bane, Chewy might be able to just outvalue. Oh, I see. The hero power. Okay, so saving the spell of Quick Shot. Yeah.
It does make a lot of sense, and he doesn't have a lot of remove. There's no reason to really rush the your quest because you're not really rushing to anything. I guess maybe to 0 cost hero power, but you don't even have a second, damage spell. Wow, not great. So like every card they don't really want to draw, like it's getting drawn.
Guys, it turns out it's not lining up that well for Chewy, despite the fact that this is a super favored matchup for him. Just the fact that he doesn't have he's being pressured down by this Vile Library very early on means that the curses are going to be doing a lot more as well.
Yep. Ooh. Saving the Quick Shot does make sense though. Chewy knows there's a Vile Library up. I mean, big removal, go to big minion. The dragged below top deck though is really good for Donkey because if Barracuda Bane stayed alive, would have been able to have a clean clear with Shell Shot and the hero pill. Does he still have it anyway, even with after drag below?
I mean, it is. He's going to be able to do a full clear regardless this next turn. With the if he just gets the 0 cost hero power, which, hey,
Right.
thank you, thank you, Donkey, for helping him a little bit. The curse does trigger the quest.
That is right. Forgot that interaction existed for a second, to be honest. But yeah, Shell Shot, hero power, or even just a mix of spells if Chewy really wants to, right? To guarantee it, get rid of the RNG aspect of Shell Shot as well.
That's one reason why this matchup is just so favored for the quest hunter, is that if you play curses early, they're going to trigger the quest and get you to quest completion faster. And if you trigger the curses late, it gives them more spells with which to use their hero power. So never a great option to curse, but with the pressure going on, if Chewy does not play this out cleanly, then we might see the 5/5 connect face a few more times. Might see that the health that Hunter can't regain ends up being a problem.
Yep. Oh, Shell Shot first. Okay.
Wow.
The 3
Okay.
damage hits into the biggest minion.
Never
Oh my
punished.
god. Never punished.
There was a
Chewy's
chance that this was harder, but never with your Chewy, I guess.
Yeah, I think Chewy's thought process here is if he gets this off, right? If RNG is in his favor, he gets a Dumbbell or Bunker, which gives him 3 really cheap secrets to spam. It's a very good high value play. And if it doesn't work out, well, he just has to invest a Quick Shot and then gets closer to quest completion. Like, not a win-win necessarily, but a win or a neutral situation, which is probably why Chewy went for that RNG with the Shell Shot there.
Yeah, and we see, both these players were topping the MT. These players are able to get that whenever they want.
Okay, well, can't complete quest this specific turn, or can't complete it, but cannot play the quest reward since no 1-cost spell in hand. But it's actually pretty awkward.
I mean, luckily because this is an open deck list format, Can just take a peek on over to Donkey's deck, see that there is no way to interact with his hand, and just complete quest pretty safely. Have all of the, as long as he doesn't play the secrets, should be able to. Oh, okay, well, playing Freezing Trap, he's not going to draw a Freezing Trap from the Dumbledore Bunker, but it has some very low cost spells for next turn.
Yep. Okay, Tamsin is probably a pretty good card to draw here. More
I mean,
sacrifice first. Yep.
more pressure, things that don't instantly die to the hero power. They are going to die to the explosive trap, I'm guessing, pretty soon, but means more health for you.
Yep, exactly. So we have Chewy with Tavish. Not that much, well, some draw with tracking, and the bunker having one more charge left in it. So he's just going to play the quest reward and start firing away. It's just a race for damage now between these two players.
Yep, and I like playing the ice trap here over the explosive. I mean, it's not like you're going to be able to play the explosive trap next turn anyways. Well, it's not going to trigger it. So this way, sort of ensuring more damage for next turn when he needs it.
Yep. Especially if he top decks. Has he already played both ice traps? Yes, he has. Okay. So both freezing, both ice. Dumbwater Bunker is going to guaranteed draw the explosive trap, as you were saying. I will say, let's take a look. Yeah, one problem for Donkey right now. He has Rafam and Mischievous Imp, both powerful infused cards, but only when they're actually infused. And they're not. So his best plays right now are a couple 3/3s. There just isn't much to do for
Well,
Donkey currently in his hand.
yeah, I mean, his actual best play is 3-mana Voidwalker. That's pretty tragic that this 7/7 is going to connect face unless he goes forward with that specifically. Not lining up well.
Yeah. We do have potential to at least draw a card first, although for 6 mana, I'm not really seeing if there's a better option. Trade to draw for 1 mana instead. Ooh.
Oh, okay. Saying that he doesn't care that the 7/7 is going to connect face. I mean, I would.
I would, but unfortunately, there's no way. And he just plays the most tempo, right? Hoping Donkey is just saying, okay, I'm going to take this 7 damage no matter what. I'm going to play as much of my own power as I can. If I don't die this turn, maybe I'll have it next turn.
I mean, it's very lethal. It's extremely lethal. This is 25. No, I mean, it's super lethal.
Yes, of course. With the caster vision, we know that Donkey is mega dead. Super favorite matchup. Quest Hunter takes it. Okay. All in a day's work for Chewy. Match scores tied up 1-1.
Oh, making the Wild Spirits too. Wow.
Just lengthening maximizing the animation time, just for fun, just for us.
Yeah, moral victory. Kill the Rafam as well before killing him. Oh, okay.
Oh. Rest in peace. Alright, so that's 2 matches down. Again, now we have Chewy has to get his Ramp Druid and Shaman through, while Donkey needs to get his Big Spell Mage and the Imp Block still through.
And that Shaman from Chewy, last week on Hearth Center, I'm sorry, this week, yes, we've been talking and looking at all the different matches and seeing that Shaman just doesn't get there so many times out of 10. It needs to get the high roll. It needs to find an okay matchup in the first place as well. So we'll see if yeah, okay. Still not going to queue it here, queuing up Druid, but Yeah, I suspect this shaman is going to be the end of the match, no matter which way we slice it.
Yeah. Um, Usually, well, there's some players who want to play the worst deck first, but especially in a point-based, I guess ecosystem like THL is, probably a little more inclined to play worst deck last. You see Chewy Mulligan, the Wild Growth, probably looking for
Yeah,
Jerry Rig Carpenter, Guff, right? Witherbloom
yeah.
Seedsman.
So wild growth is great when you can curve it into other things, like when you can curve it into maybe a Wild Bloom Seedsman or a Nourish, or
Yep.
specifically Guff, the 8% makes your matchups 8% better card. So this we see just Wild Growth. Chewy feels like that is not as much of a high roll as he needs here
Hmm.
against sort of the pressure plan.
Yep. And we see Donkey keep just the King of Farm. That makes sense, right? It's a card that if you play it on 6 while it's infused, Druid keels over and cries. So,
And in this case, we do see the silence drawn from Chewy's side, but that still leaves the bodies for a bartender to buff up the next turn. So it is no small feat for Chewy to get past it.
exactly. You see the Jerry Rig Carpenter, which is an important piece of the puzzle for Druid, but not any ramp to get to that Nourish early. And I don't think that a flat Nourish on actual turn 5 is going to be enough for the Druid to get through here. But we'll see.
I mean, this is Chewy we're talking about. That wild growth is coming right back to his hand. Just gotta wait
It,
to see it.
it better.
I mean, maybe this he might just go Moonlit Guidance. He already has sort of the Nourish for turn 5, so Moonlit Guidance could set up for his turn 3 or maybe his turn 4.
Mm-hmm.
He certainly does need the speed if Rayboss Onyxia is going to be his next big piece.
Yep. Okay, so plays Jerry Rig Carpenter, still gets one card deeper in the deck. And I guess it's just to Fiendish Circle, right, can come down here. So he wants to really be able to trade away that 5-1 and not take another 5 damage next. Makes sense to me.
Well,
Oh my lord.
I told you.
All right. Things are looking up, but oh, that's really not great. Draw 4 cards for 2 mana.
5.
5 cards, 1+4, excuse me. And then just gets to play a near full board of demons, and then follow it up with +2/+2 to all of them.
Yeah, and we see Chewy's hand. Chewy is not going to be dealing with this. He's gonna say taking a turn off here. So
Yep.
it's he's not quite at his starting life total, but it's now at the point which Chewy's life total is going to look very dire next turn.
Rampant growth. Hold on. With that Innervate top deck, right? We can go Kael'thas Sunstrider, Innervate, go to 9 mana, play the Smothering Starfish, and then we have Onyxia.
Yeah,
So
except
the
for the
Shady
fact.
Bartender.
Okay, so slight order difference. We're gonna do Starfish first, then play Kael'thas after, because if you
Right.
silence the Kael'thas, you can't. But love the idea. I think
So
that's probably what he's gonna do.
does the Starfish, so it counts as a first minion, even though Kael'thas was not there to see it?
Yes,
Is this correct? I see.
that is
All
exactly what will happen. Yeah, it's Kael'thas looks at just how many
right.
minions
Another
have been played.
Starfish.
Top deck one for added style points. Good.
Ooh.
And take off
Well,
the imps. Yep.
the only major consideration for Chewy now is not really the board so much as health, because this is why the imp block runs the curses, right? You get someone down to 10, 11 in this case HP, and you might not have the board anymore, but you can just burn them down. Although right now the Imp King Rafam is probably going to come down.
Yeah, Imp King Rafam will not buff anything on this board, unfortunately, because Voidwalker not an imp, but will still do some you know, will still require Chewie to dedicate some of his next turns to fending off that still, rather than actually pressuring Donkey.
Yep. Let's see. The Smothering Starfish, yeah, won't be too much of an issue. Again, we have it's still 5 bodies that come out of the Imp King, so although they get smaller, the Starfish won't necessarily be enough to deal with it.
I mean,
Queen
the
Nui?
alternative is to go Fiendish Circle plus Vile Library. You know, give this Flustered Librarian or something +5/+5. That's going to deal 7. Doesn't quite do it though. But
Yeah.
yeah, getting this guaranteed damage now, as long as this druid does not have the armor gain in their hand, which right now they don't.
Trade. 2 Val
Oh my
Libraries?
god. Okay. Yeah. This is going to try and kill him now. With the curses on the backswing, you know, setting him down to 4 might just do it.
Yep. Because we need
5, I
specifically
mean.
Earthen Scales. Okay, there's Earthen Scales. There's 3 Earthen Scales, actually.
Okay. Well, I mean, so we were never actually going to to die here for Chewie, I guess.
Let's go top deck Earthen Scale.
Not
Arcane
just
Imp,
top deck Earthen Scales.
and then Moonlit Guidance into more Earthen Scale.
Oh my god. Yeah. I would not be
Um,
happy if I were Donkey. Oh man.
oh my god.
Might just even rampant growth. No, there's no shot.
No.
Yeah, I think this is just gonna be another Earthen Scales plus, I guess, hero power to help clear off this board. Like, this is not okay.
Oh my god. Right, like we don't need to play all 3 Earthen Scales, okay? 24 damage
Yeah.
against this small stuff is Chewie doesn't care anymore. Because you're just considering where to bump, how to bump. You can
Yeah,
go and
whether
use
it's
the
going
hero power
face.
instead.
He
Oh,
might
3
just
Earthen
not care.
Scales.
Yeah, okay, he's just gonna not
Yeah.
care.
Yep. In fact, not caring. And now he's
Saying, I
saying,
have this
okay, deal with
11/11.
this.
Yeah. So I
This,
mean, he can trade off one of them and then play the other Vile Library. That does help clear off this 11/11 at least, but
yeah. Is this, because the thing is, yeah, the second WoW library is the kicker here. Donkey cannot full clear because Kael'thas has a pretty big amount of health, but the Vile library will help him get rid of the major threats on board.
that's imps only. I'm very bad. Yeah, okay, Vile Library is
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I will
Full
go for
clear.
Abyssal Wave to full clear. Okay, I see. Just gonna play 2/1/1s.
Might just
Okay.
trade away Wicked Shipment because not
Yeah.
much else to do. What is a Voidwalker really going to accomplish here?
Voidwalker. I mean, it's a
There's
body to put the Val Library on next turn. Double Val Library, even. But
oh, it's not a body anymore.
it's gone. But do we ever? So from caster vision, there are 2 very, very juicy targets for Theotar, currently in Donkey's hand. But we definitely want to consider, because we can Theotar and still clear the 1/3 body, so the Val Libraries aren't a threat anymore. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
well, we've had one of them, and we didn't get to give them an Abyssal Curse, unfortunately.
Looks
Um,
like probably giving them Innervade? And Rich might be
uh,
too slow for the Warlock as well.
yeah, I mean, giving them Enrich means they're going to be spending 5 mana to draw 3 cards, which was the card we just took from them. They won't be getting any armor. They won't be improving themselves at all.
Yeah. But Innervade is
So
probably lower impact. Like, Enrich digs deep into curses. You probably don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Not
yeah,
removing
I
the
mean,
1/3. He
wasting
saw the
most of
second
this
Wild
turn.
Rivalry.
Okay,
Chewie
well,
saw the
yeah.
second Val Library in hand, but didn't remove the 1/3. I wonder why.
Well, he's at 34 health is one thing.
That's true. It's true.
See. This Imp King Rafam is going to come down. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually buff this Voidwalker, but then, it does give the imps for the Vile Library chain. You can use up one Vile Library and then play the other. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Because I was going to say, like, the Druid of the Reef, it only gets better when played with Oracle of Elune. And that's not why you play Oracle of Elune. So even though Chewie's at 34 health, you may as well have bumped into the 1-3 so that you don't take that much damage.
A little bit confused. We didn't just Smothering Starfish first.
Yeah. I guess he thinks that the AoE... That is interesting, because there is not a full clear available to Chewie
Yeah, there
anymore.
really aren't that many buffs at all anymore for the Warlock side. So, this Smothering Starfish is getting lower and lower value, but it is something where you don't have to Starfish to clear off that huge threat. It just means that you are taking 6 still.
Yeah, because if Chewie didn't top deck those giants, I mean, he has Scales of Onyxia, I guess. So we can say that Chewie is in a spot where no matter what he does, he's kind of favored and has control of the game.
Yeah, from this point, not much is going to stop one of these 8/8s from connecting face with a swift end coming soon after.
Yeah. Nothing in hand, not enough removal, not enough mana for Donkey to really do anything about this.
He just passed up on the mana amount where he could have played Drawable Drag Below either with Tamsin or with we also has to do some trades and is taking 8 and still unable to deal with the 8/6. So
he is alive, but also dead next turn. Very dead next turn. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, this is where you brand Topior just to stunt on them.
Well, Brand Topior would end up actually giving him an out with the imp attacks, so you have to play Scale Nexi here at least.
No, because what you do is you brand Topior and then you innervate out to it. Shrub of Gazers, kill off 2 of the imps. Yeah, it's this game's very over. It's not. It doesn't really matter.
Just to make sure for anyone new tuning in, Chewie is not playing Warlock. He stole that card. So
yeah, he does have a Warlock card in his hand, this Abyssal Curse. So you may think that he is the Warlock in this situation, but actually.
Okay, and unfortunate.
Moral victory, give them one more curse.
Gamora of Sacrifice? Oh,
No.
can't clear. If he had a 1-drop that wasn't Flame Imp, the Gamora of Sacrifice would have actually cleared the board, but with Abyssal Wave back. Not enough. Too little too late.
Okay, so we've seen 2 victories over this Curse Imp block. An Imp block that had some very surprising success in Grandmasters. So not Grandmasters, Last Call. But not seeming to get the same results here. So, last deck for Chewie is the Shaman. Shaman in this case is maybe going to be slow enough for this Curse Imp block to find purchase. It just depends on what the opening hand's going to be. If he gets the Muck Pools plus Schooling plus Null opener.
Right. The Keep Sleepbreaker has always been a keep for 9 months ever since it was released, right?
Yeah, I mean, technically there are higher power things in the deck, so Chewie just saying he wants the consistency, doesn't need to get the mega high roll that early.
Yep. Donkey thinking about keeping Barbaric Sorceress, Barbara, but probably not. This hand doesn't do enough things quickly enough, so I think it's just a full mole looking for Belinda at this point.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because Barbara, depending, like knowing your opponent is maybe going to be adding wind chills, going to be starting
Hmm.
with the coin. Um, it's unlikely that they'll have a spell. In this case, schooling is another spell. There's very few spells in the deck, but Barbara is a high roll you can do as the mage that allows you to speed up tremendously and compete.
Yep. Well, schooling early makes sense. Spend mana. Also gets rid of the chance of getting Barbara.
So turn two, Chewie is going to draw. I'm guessing the Knoll makes more sense of the two pieces, and then turn three will be the Muck Pool. So yeah.
Hopefully, but even if Chewie does do that, Donkey has the Nightcloak Sanctum to freeze whatever, I don't know, Deathwing or 10 mana minions that come out of the null. So it's maybe not as impactful as you might think.
10 mana minions always Denathrius.
Always. And then lifesteal, and then Donkey loses. Of course. Okay, we play the
Okay.
minion on 2.
Yeah, so big question is whether this 4-1 is going to trade or not. Looks like he's trying to get the most tempo, but it does mean that you know, this wind chill can come out with some other threat. Yeah, okay, actually doing the trade. Yeah, that makes more sense.
That's an early Denathrius for Chewie, with a bunch of Piranha Swarmers in the hand as well. So we'll have a second Wincon online later in the game. Let's see.
So yeah,
We might,
sorry.
yeah, we might want to clear the 2/2, but at the same time, keeping the Piranhas might be useful against Akani. But again, caster vision. We know that Donkey has Akani, but perhaps Chewie is also considering that, and he might just wind chill it to freeze the 2/2 instead.
So Donkey is looking like he probably just has to draw Theotar. His deck is not running the Murloc package that the extra large big spell mage from Chewy is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, looks like we'll go draw. Okay, top deck. Your is that your only 3-drop in this Moist Shaman? I believe so. Oh, Clownfish.
I mean,
Just kidding.
yeah, we do also see the Brilliant Macaw here, but
Yeah, your
uh
second best
being
three
another
drop.
3-drop. Yeah.
I don't see much else except for.
Just
Well,
playing
Donkey
Okami
no.
maybe.
Yeah, Donkey knows that Chewie has triple Piranha Swarmer in his hand though, so even if he does go for the minion mode, I guess it's a tempo play to take out the Piranha Swarmers.
Okay,
And
so Donkey is choosing to lock up his hero power maybe a little bit, save it for the future. But if he needs the freeze, then he can't use his hero power for a bit, which means that he, I believe he does run Mordresh. Yeah, he is running a Mordresh, so that Mordresh is going to be stalled out for a little bit here, maybe.
yeah, it's a little awkward to have double freeze in both the Nightcloak Sanctum and the hero power up. Like you want to freeze with the Sanctum so that you can get the skeletons out, but then you're not hero powering anymore, and sometimes that can lead to floating mana, or as you said, a late Mordresh as well.
In this case, Chewie is gracious and allows the skeleton to hit his 2-1, or sorry, 2-3 into a 2-1, meaning that, at least this ping, if anything, is going to kill off a minion. Also, Theotar drawn is great for Donkey here. Just needs to
Yes.
wait for this hand to whittle down a little bit more.
If we want to see the Swarmers come out first, probably, and then we can try to go for a snipe on Denathrius. The Macaw is also an okay consolation prize.
A big question is whether Donkey is going to attempt to go wide to let these Piranha Swarmers really give him the business, and then um, follow back with the Theotar.
Yeah. Donkey, right. You don't want to play the Reckless Apprentice into this. It's not very useful. Okane also gets obliterated by, the weapon. Chewie has even more damage available than last turn. This is definitely an awkward situation. Maybe just freeze a minion with a Nightcloak Sanctum, and maybe kill off the 2-1 with the hero power.
Ooh, killing off both, or rather killing off the one that you feel is more important. But in actuality, I mean that 2/3 Murloc the Firemancer wasn't going to be doing anything fast.
Yeah, makes sense. Like, we don't see a clownfish in Chewie's hand, but I guess Donkey is just playing around, not getting clownfished, and then Firemancer for go pinged out of the game here.
I think maybe that was actually Donkey's attempt to make him play a few piranhas. Didn't end up working out, but the Mailbox Dancer with the Barbara in hand is starting to get there. We just are a little bit away. Need to get that big spell and some way to kill off the Mailbox Dancer.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we just play it. Okay,
I mean,
well, yeah,
this is a way better looking turn, but
yeah, clear 12 power off the. Maybe that's a little better than playing a free 2. That'll give you and your opponent a coin.
oh, okay, Mutinous. Even if Donkey does steal the Denathrius, it then has to do some Neo moves and dodge this Mutinous eat.
Still not bad for Donkey though, if Chewie is forced to eat his own Denathrius. Um, Not a terrible idea. Those are some really horrendous discovers. I'm not sure if, I mean, we still have 2 clownfish in the deck, so I'm not sure if I would have just totemed instead. But
Yeah. Now Chewie is deciding whether he's going to put out the last Piranha Swarmer, making his hand, as we've been saying, a little bit weaker to the Theotar.
yeah, I think that Chewie's in a great position right now, right? Like, we haven't seen any semblance of big spells from Donkey up until now. So
Okay.
Theotar would have been the only thing to play around, but we finally find Belinda.
Yeah, I think this is actually a pretty good time to do Mailbox Dancer as sort of a 1-mana 3/2 alongside the Belinda. Get that set up. It does mean your opponent's probably just going to use their hero to kill it though, so still 1 turn away from where you'd like it to be.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting because maybe you just does giving Chewie the coin here have any implications?
Well,
Because
you would like to use the coin with your Barbara to make your
yeah,
big spell cost 0, but if Chewie gets the opportunity to trade into it with the hero, then spend the coin, then you don't get that option anymore.
yeah,
So
because I was thinking like if Brucon of the Elements came down a turn earlier here, right? I think it's not worth
oh,
you know.
okay, well that's
Oh,
it. That's an
goodbye,
uncontested Denathrius now.
Theotar.
Wow. Um,
Yep.
hand
Now,
interaction, killing hand interaction. Yikes.
what else? Donkey, yeah, I think really his only win conditions here is his main big spell game plan. Just rip them and hope they do enough. We don't see any Magister Dawn Grasps, and I think it's going to be too late for them to come out, and too late for the hero power win condition at this point as well.
Yeah,
Just gonna have
the
to rip these spells.
best thing Dawngrasp is going to do is play 2 more dragons. Looks like.
Yeah, it's not a bad card to draw, but at the end of the day, reliant on these big spells to bring it home for Donkey here.
Okay, I mean, it is still 1 turn off from Chewie eating anything. It's also then a further turn off from Chewie healing at all. So this is it could be doable if this board is not dealt with, and it's looking currently Like Donkey's board is just too big.
Yeah. Again, another case that we didn't consider earlier was if the mailbox dancer was out, right? Then Insatiable Devourer could have also been coined out. So Donkey probably knew that last card on the very left was something very expensive, very big, likely to be that Devourer. Didn't want to give Chewy the coin there. Chewy just gives up.
Hey, Chewy, sensing that Shaman's days are numbered, uh, is just going to give it one more shot here. It's going to be the Shaman now versus the Curse Lock final game.
Battle of the. I feel like we might start seeing this a lot in Conquest formats, but just the battle of the worst two decks against each other game, as you said earlier. Games decided just by that.
Yeah, everything else is way too good at getting wins, it looks like. So we're gonna see which one of these two is finally best here.
All right, so we have a Clownfish start from Chewy, card that he did not actually have last time. And Donkey's hand is kind of middling, like 1 mana, 1/3, or 1 mana, 2/2 worth of stats isn't really gonna win you the game here, especially without a Vile Library. So
Yeah, this is
we might see
not
a
entirely. The starting hands don't look entirely favored for either side, and the matchup itself is not entirely favored for either side. So uh, definitely going to come down to what these mulligans shape their hand to be. I don't think Chew is going to keep much of anything here. Maybe the clownfish.
Yep. And for those again who have been invested in the Masters tours, in round 7 of the previous Masters tour, Donkey 3-0'd Chewy, to be specific here. So this may be an opportunity now for Chewy to have some revenge, perhaps a revenge storyline. Okay, Muck pulls on 1. You play the 1-drop on 1 as usual. Expect to just see a 1-drop on 1 from Donkey as well. Yep.
Oh my. Okay. Chewy showing why he is the one seed of this team. Is he top decks one of the highest win rate cards in his deck, Schooling, of course.
Yep. Probably expecting a Vile Library, so just going to play it now, or at least playing around Vile Library as much as possible.
Big question is whether Chewy is going to be using his muck pools on the clownfish or saving it one more turn for the Crud Caretaker on turn 4. Crud Caretaker would provide a 5-drop instead of the dumb 1/1 body. So I feel like that's probably going to be a hold on the clownfish turn.
Good question, because if he does use it on the Clownfish, right, he has a better body for the upcoming turns. Or
Okay, dude.
can also top deck a
Okay.
Null.
Well, not next turn. So turn 6 probably going to see muck pools with that. Absolutely,
Because
absolutely decimate.
the thing is, kind of wanted to see Muck Pools. It's a good question. Yeah, okay. Turn 6, he plays a Crud Caretaker next turn, so the Null stays at 6, and then on actual turn 6, 2 turns after he plays the Crud Caretaker, he would evolve the Null.
Yeah, I think that's probably what the turns are going to look like unless he um, finds the second schooling. No, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna freak out if that was top of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Whoa! What card is that?
Yeah, people who have never seen this card before, it's actually amazing for Chewy that he did not get the battle cry and immediately lose the game. But that is an unplayable Warlock legendary.
Commander Othok, 5 mana, 7/7, Battle Cry. Your opponent's cards cost health instead of mana next turn.
Yes.
So, up to the viewer's imagination why this card has never been played in a deck ever before.
It is Millhouse Manastorm, except it works for both minions and spells. Crazy.
Also
It's
costs
not
5
being
mana.
played right now.
You know those tavern brawls where like it's a co-op mode between 2 players to kill the boss? I'd play it there. I don't think I'd play it anywhere else.
Yeah, if we could just see one of those again, then finally the Commander Althok in my inventory would see any play.
Okay, so we see the Vial Library, but do you think the coin Shady Bartender might have ever been better there? It busts 4 imps into a deck that does not run Snowfall Guardian anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Donkey is valuing just the Shady Bartender for next turn rather than the immediate tempo. But yeah, I mean, it looks like he's going to get punished pretty heartily here. Probably going to see
Yes.
Sleepbreaker freeze off the 5/2. You know, see maybe some piranhas come out as well.
Yeah, exactly. He knows the piranhas are there, so, probably at least. Perhaps the point of Donkey's play here is to force out the piranhas to begin with,
Does
so that
make
his
the Gold
later
Sharinol
attacks.
unplayable next turn? Actually, does it? Wait. No, wait. The
Oh,
Gold Sharinol is still
it
playable. It
does
becomes 6 mana
not.
exactly.
Yes. Yeah, I think we probably would just start with a Sleepbreaker here to draw, and that still affords an opportunity to play the Piranha Stormer, and of course, because Sleepbreaker
Oh.
replaces itself. Whoa,
Okay, 3/5 taunt coming out.
3/5 taunt.
Not what I would have valued, but
Oh, this
yeah,
is a
looking like
really good bartender.
yeah, 5/2 probably gonna trade and then follow it up with Bartender and maybe just like clear off the whole board. No,
I don't
you
want to
kind of want
say
to stick.
yeah, I don't want to say for sure, but I think maybe Chewie is tunneling a little bit too much into the original game plan of evolve the Gold Shard Null, right? And that's why he didn't play the Swarmers this turn.
I mean, it turns out that the 3 attack is not actually going to trade very favorably for Donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, just gonna ignore. Makes sense.
Oh, oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Chewie activates, draws, out the most skill he can possibly draw out, and gets another copy of his best card.
uh,
He can play the Gorlock and then the Null.
uh, why?
He can
Chewy.
play the Gorlock, kill something with a Null, and then turn it into a 10/10 to a 12/12.
Okay. Yeah. Shaman can win. We found. Oh,
What the heck? Donkey
I,
can't remove that.
why are you not trading? Why are you not trading with the 3/3s?
Okay. If Denathria stays up, and also the fact that, hold
You
on,
know your
what's the
opponent
infuse count?
can kill this if they trade in their 3/3s.
Because maybe, oh no, yeah, Donkey can
He's
infuse
trading
and
one. Okay.
trades 1. Okay, so it prevents Denathrius from dying because it'll be at 7 health after this. So it doesn't die as
Okay.
much to most things.
So Donkey can't kill this. Okay.
He cannot. Lady Darkvein, I don't believe Lady Darkvein has anything side of the shades, does it? I don't think
Instead of looking
none.
at instead of looking at Donkey's sad hand, I'm gonna look at Chewy's nice rainbow of red, yellow, red, yellow, red. Uh,
Is it a rainbow if it's just red, yellow, red, yellow, red? Does that
it's.
still count as a rainbow?
I mean, does Chewy still count as alive if he has health? Or
Yeah.
sorry, does Donkey still count as alive? I don't know if this game really matters with these semantics. Okay, Abyssal Wave coming out, not killing off the Denathrius.
Clear as much as possible. Mill a card. Doesn't. Christ.
Um,
How does Donkey win from here because I'm not really sure if he does.
He top decks a spell that adds a curse to his opponent's hand and kills
Oh,
the
you ate the
master.
Dark Vein. I was gonna say like Dark Vein top deck Grimoire of Sacrifice.
This is over. This is so doomed.
Oh my god. You play Finley Murgleton and get armor hero power.
Play Sir Finley Murgleton and discover, let's see, literally anything else. The Shaman Hero Power is doing nothing. Yeah.
This one from I'm not even sure like Chewy on that turn not removing the imps. It should, in my personal opinion, should not have worked out this well. Oh my god. It's
Yeah.
over.
Maybe this was just it. Maybe that decision to not coin bartender in turn 4 meant that Chewy had the time to do this. I don't know, but what I do know is that this curse imp block is look very swept.
Yeah. Wow. But also like he drew schooling into Gorlock Ravager, the already discounted Gorlock Ravager, mind you. The most he just added
He did
so many
not.
cards to his hand.
He did not have to do it to him like that, but we. This is what the other side of the matchup, where yeah, sometimes you high roll and there's nothing that can stop that
Unbelievable.
high roll.
Geranium Battle. I have to play against Chewy tomorrow for my legacy match. And I don't like that. Because if he's gonna play like this in debate, oh. I don't know how to feel about that
Well,
exactly.
hopefully he forgets that he's facing you and he gives you matchup knowledge on what his plan is tomorrow
All right, I'll
in this
make sure
interview
all my
here.
interview questions are about that exactly. What decks are you running? in Legacy tomorrow.
So you like that shaman, huh? You like that list of shaman specifically?
I'm not even sure if he's bringing Shaman to Legacy though. Hello?
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome, Chewy.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your win.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Was there any lingering feelings going into this match? As we said, there was a previous time you guys had both fought at the Masters Tour, did not go in your favor. So, sort of looking for this win, or was that out of your mind?
I have like obviously I knew this happened, but it isn't something I I thought about. It was just a fun thing to mention. Like, hey, it's the rematch time.
Awesome. That's a great mindset to have.
Yeah.
All right. Next question was gonna be, did you, from your experience at the Masters Tour, since the meta has, of course, changed somewhat, but not a ton, right? Just had that one buff patch that didn't do much. Are there any things you learned from the Masters Tour or some takeaways that you started to apply to THL and that kind of thing?
Not really. I have just started to probably like instead of going to pure stats and stuff, I have started to like just play what I feel like playing instead, and it has turned out a bit better. Even
Nice.
sometimes the lineups doesn't really make sense, but they still work for me, and I think that's the way I should stick to playing in the future at least.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, it seems to be working pretty well for you, evolving, especially when you evolve into a 7/7. That was crazy. We didn't even know what that card was earlier.
Yeah, that was like I was a little upset about his 1/1s because I had no way in my deck to deal with them, and then I saw the 7/7, and I was like, okay, I guess I win this game.
Yeah.
And then like the Narcissus on the on the null evolve as well was just okay. Okay.
Yeah, we were wondering, was that all planned? Because we noticed, right? The turn prior, you held the Piranha Swarmers in your hand, um,
Yeah.
which and led to the Shady Bartender getting a pretty big buff. But then you just hit the nuts. You hit Schooling, you hit Gorlock Ravager into a 1-mana null. Was that all part of your plan to get greedy with the null, or how is it?
At that point, I kind of kicked myself because I didn't go for the like try to go for the null earlier. But like in this matchup, you need to get like an early 10 drop, or you're probably gonna lose. Like I didn't have any removal on hand, so from my point of view, I had to like get this null down and try to like get maybe the Wind Fury or something from it. So like that was the plan that I had from like turn 4 pretty much.
Yeah, I see. So basically, it's null or bust in this matchup. Like even if you remove a couple of things, the Piranha Swarmer, I don't know, Rafam or something comes down, and you're screwed if you don't have the 10 drop. Is that basically the thought process?
Yeah. Unless
So
like obviously if you draw a lot of removal early, but I kind of lacked in the removal department, so I felt that that the null level was really needed, and it worked out well for me this time.
So,
Awesome.
speaking of that shaman, and as you were saying, the sort of the game plans, do you think that the shaman really needs in most of its matchups to get that early 10 drop, or like do you think that the other game plans of sort of the cheating out the Denathrius, that's sort of huffing copium in a way?
Back like before Shaman was nerfed, the reason people played Shaman was because it had like 5-6 different ways of winning. Like early 10 drop, you could cheat out the Nathrius, you could get huge elementals and macaws. There were different ways of going about the matchup and a game plan. But I feel like you can still do that, but not to the same degree as you could before. So I still believe that like the Nautilus sheet out game plans still works and stuff. Me personally, I don't really like the Shaman deck that much because I don't feel comfortable playing it at all. But I decided to bring it this week because it worked quite well for me in a tournament last week, so I just brought it back.
Nice.
Nice, and work it did.
Yeah, it turned out to sort of be a battle of the fourth decks here. Um, with the fourth deck of the Curse Implock and the fourth deck of the XL Shaman coming to head. Did you sort of expect that going in, that you'd have the backup plan of being able to sweep this Warlock?
Not really. I thought that my Shaman would get swept, and I also felt that when I lost versus the Mage, I didn't feel very comfortable going into the last game. I kind of had like the Mage as a backup plan for the Shaman because I've like won against it on ladder, but it's like the first or second time I managed to beat the Warlock because usually they just outspeed you.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Just like a early Val library into Shaman can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right. Do you have any more questions, Juranian?
Yeah, I mean, sort of with the concept, I know this is just more recency bias, but with the concept of the muck pools in that last shaman game, there was sort of the idea of whether you wanted to do a chain of muck pools on 3, muck pools on 5, muck pools on 7, or whether you wanted to do it on the even turns, and you chose the even turns with the Crud Caretaker. Uh, was there a specific reason why you did it that way and didn't null, like didn't play to maybe a null on 5?
like I said before, I feel like I kind of maybe should have waited and then made it on the null instead. It might have been a stress decision to do it on the 1/1. Like, obviously, getting a 5 drop there is good, but getting a 4 drop and a null earlier might have been a bit better. So like, I didn't really plan that out. I kind of wanted to do it the other way, but I realized that afterwards. But yeah, I got very lucky that game. So
Yeah, some very small micro decisions in those games. And at the end of all those micro decisions, a small chip here, small chip there, and suddenly a Denathrius staring him down to end off the series. So very well played.
thank you.
Yep.
I mean, there were definitely luck involved in this series. Not gonna lie.
Very well played indeed. And I just had one last question from me. Are you one of the people who is enjoying this meta a lot, or are you one of the people who cannot wait for a patch to come out as soon as possible?
I don't enjoy this meta.
Nice.
I haven't really, like, after the MT when the patch hit, I kind of like lost my footing immediately. I dropped, like, for example, on NA, I dropped from like the 200s down to 5,000 legend immediately. It took like, I don't know, 10 hours, and I didn't manage to climb back. And I still, like, I have managed to get a tournament footing, but ladder wise, no.
Gotcha.
I am kind of looking forward to a patch for sure.
Hmm.
Hey, it sounds like it is confirmed for next week at least. So have solace in that. But sort of, a closing thing to every interview here. Do you have any shout outs?
Oh, shout out to the ET team. Shout out to Donkey for being a nice competitor and making a great website. And obviously shout out to the Zoo Discord. Join if you aren't in. It's a lot of great people, and you get a lot of help from that Discord for sure. Other than that,
Nice.
Yeah.
thank you so much for having us on tonight.
Yep.
Similarly to the THL Discord, shout out to the THL sub button. Team Hearthly has sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
Thank
was
you
very
so
good
much for
having you.
coming on.
Thank you for giving us some great games to commentate here.
Thank you so much.
We will see you next time. Bye.
And it sounds like there's no further match for the night. So that's going to be sort of it for us talking to you, fair people of THL. From me, I'm excited to see what tomorrow has in store.
Yep. And for me, I said this probably 3 times by now, but I'm very excited for my match against Chewy. He, had a great performance here. So I'm sure he'll be a challenge and a great opponent to face as well. And thank you so much again for having me on for my first cast. It was a great time, for sure.
Great. Thank you both so much.
Yep. All right. Goodbye,
I
stream.
hear you got a problem.
Play BGs.
See ya. Bye, Runestones.
Don't. Just play.
All right. Good night, guys.
You are not prepared. Another round. Why do you... You are not prepared! You are not! This guy's toast. Leroy! Not prepared! Goodbye.